I'm gonna start the show in a bit. Hey, welcome to TokuTalkers. Today we're talking about GoZyuger episode 3. I'm your host Buster, and with me is of course, your lovely co-host Waz Ranger or Wyatt or Wits Only Magic or whatever he's going by these days.
Yeah, I'm a member of the Japanese Kibidongo club or whatever it was called.
Oh
So
yeah, the Prime Minister thing.
yeah,
Yeah, cause this episode is real fun, especially because we got to see Universe hero DonMomotaro.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
he is quite the interesting fella. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, I'm
uh,
actually very excited to talk about this. So
yeah, because okay, so he's a prime minister. I don't think they really specify what of. Like, they just kind of
mm-hmm.
like, oh, he's a prime
Just of
minister.
Japan, like he's the
Yeah,
king of Japan. So
yeah.
he's like the villain in Persona 5 or whatever, the guy in Samurai Flamenco that gets the armor based on the amount of votes that he has. Do you remember this? You've seen
Yeah.
Samurai Flamenco, right?
It's been a bit, but like,
Okay.
yeah, like,
That's a good show. Everybody go
yeah,
watch it.
it's really good. Yeah. I blanked out the prime minister part of it, but the rest of it I have
Mm-hmm.
in my mind. Uh,
Yeah. He has like an
yeah,
Ultraman fight with him.
I think that's slowly coming back to me. But yeah, the Momotaro, his name is Tokunatsu Atami,
Yes.
and yeah, as I mentioned last episode, he's played by the actor who did Gear in Ultraman,
Mm-hmm.
Taiga,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and oh, he does a really good job. I was surprised. Like I already knew like that's inspired casting to get
Mm-hmm.
Gear's like actor to do like a Don Momotaro, but he really sells the laugh, the energy, the like
Mm-hmm.
vibes you would want from a Don Momotaro while still putting his own spin on it.
Yes.
Um, and
It's
like
very.
all you go.
Yeah. Go ahead. No. You go ahead.
I was gonna say like all the little references like from the perfume
Yep.
to the like origami like little brothers he has. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
those made me smile.
Yeah.
Um,
I was just gonna say that it's very clear that it's like it's Momotaro, but Don Momotaro, but it's something is slightly off, because it's not your Don Momotaro, and that's of course big shoes to fill because Don Brothers is very popular in Japan and very popular in our hearts because we talk about it every single episode,
True.
and we will probably talk about it from every episode going forward. But it was just cool to see essentially a like an anti-hero take on Don Momotaro.
Yeah, or like more because like he at first he kind of started a bit more anti-hero because he kept beating up his opponent, his comrades. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
he was
true.
yeah. So they're kind of like leaning more into it, like with
Yeah,
this like for the
there's
battle
something
theming.
there's something like kind of innocent and pure about like Momoitaro doing that compared to Tokunatsu Atami, who is
Yeah,
like putting on an effect of being like a altruistic hero, but has like these ulterior motives. Um, and I think that is super cool. One, I was afraid that the Sentai returning characters would just mostly be one-off characters that would like come and then go, and wouldn't really
yeah.
like impact the story or whatever, which would have been fine. But it's cool to see that he has some longevity, like beyond this episode.
Yeah, I mean, like between this and Kuwagata Oger, it's like it seems like they're
Mm-hmm.
going to like keep like sprinkling them in at least for a couple more episodes than like we thought. It's not just they're
Mm-hmm.
not one-off bosses. They're
Yeah.
like full-on like opponents in the war, in the
Mm-hmm.
Tegasaur War. Um, and yeah, that just really that it's good writing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really it's really like it yeah. And we also see like right now his right hand woman is the Gozu unicorn Sumino
Mm-hmm.
Ichikawa who makes a couple like debuts in like some couple scenes in the episodes. She's really funny. I really like
Mm-hmm.
her scene with the parfait where it's like it costs this much
Yeah.
these days.
I feel
That
like
got a good laugh.
eggs these days. Am I right, guys?
Oh yeah. Oh god, don't remind me. Yeah. That was this really is the Gen Z Sentai.
Mhm.
uh yeah, but I do like where they're kind of building that character. And we also get like a couple teases for some other characters, but I'll save that for later.
Mhm.
One of my favorite aspects about this episode was Boquette, the like
Yes.
pink-haired lady from
Mhm.
the bridal. just like we finally get like more into her character, and she's so funny. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah. She gets this, she gets that scene where she peeps in on like an impromptu show that
Yeah, Rikyo.
Riku like that he does to gain popularity and everything, and then she
Yeah,
immediately
because there's a
becomes a
popularity
fangirl.
contest. Because of course,
Yes,
Prime Minister.
I'm very glad that it seems like they're keeping up the premise of, the conflict is not strictly like I beat you up, like that
Yeah,
the monsters set like a game that they have to like compete with each other against in order to, succeed. And obviously eventually just breaks down and becomes we fight you and then you die, but I just like the build up to that point. It's
yeah,
more interesting than just having an entire episode where they're just like having a few tussles with a guy or just fighting a guy for half the
yeah. It
episode,
makes
like in
the in between
GoZyuger.
more fun, I'd say. Like the in
Yeah.
between, like between the fights, are more like engaging.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Yeah, and like Boket, like I love the mecha fight. Like, but they just add so much character to the mecha fights. They really
Yeah.
did. Like, not just in choreography, but just in like the motives of the mecha fight, where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she doesn't know Rikyo is blue, so
Yeah.
she like, and then it's like, and so she's going like ham, not knowing, hey, that's the guy you're like standing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Then it accidentally rips the photo of him,
yeah,
so she's like super pissed, and it's like, oh man, this whoever's in there is really angry for some reason.
yeah,
So yeah, it's just like a nice. I like that. I like it happening side by side with the conflict with the monster, plus the conflict with like the Sentai,
yeah,
the other universe rangers, and it's just so much is going on, but none of it feels like overwhelming. Which
yeah.
I
It's just
thought I felt that
fun.
way about like the first episode too, where it was like a lot is happening, but I can still follow. It doesn't really
Yeah,
feel like overwhelming or like too much is going on. It just is like there's a lot of plates that it's spinning and it's doing it pretty well, honestly, like these first
yeah.
three episodes.
Yeah, and it helps that like they're not doing everything at once. They're like slowly trickling in other like they even like it's not it could be even more overwhelming if they put like all
Hmm.
five in the first episode.
Yeah.
But no, they're little like, teases or little like hints instead of like okay, this episode will focus on this aspect of the show. This episode will focus on like
Hmm.
yeah, like this episode is very much like what kind of conflicts will the universe like warriors like give our heroes?
Yeah.
Like in last episode was like what kind of conflicts will the bridal like number one monsters give our heroes?
Yeah.
So
And,
it's like
and it's cool to see uh the main character the main character, the Red Ranger like lose early on,
yeah,
like have a like he obviously just beats the monster afterwards, but like the fact that he loses the contest to DonMomotaro is really cool.
yeah, especially so
Like
early.
yeah, because you don't want to set that precedent to I don't know, you want to like establish a fact that it could go either way. You don't want to like get people set in their ways of like, oh, he's always gonna win, and then like maybe you subvert it later and it's surprising. But I think it's just like more interesting and dynamic to have it so that every episode you're like, oh, is he actually gonna eke out a win? But he does win the like spiritual award by getting the one single vote from the guy that he
Yeah,
saved, which is
oh
very sweet.
that was really cute. Yeah, I
Yeah.
always love little moments like this.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and I do like because last two episodes he did win, and that kind of like okay, is he gonna win every time? But like no,
Yeah.
they are really playing into like anyone can win a game in this war, and like
Hmm.
it's like I remember like okay, apparently a lot of good like I read some interviews recently where it's like a part of the core conceit was GoZyuger was during Dawn Brothers where they were
Hmm.
talking about okay, which of us can beat up a common writer, and so they
Yeah.
decided to make a Sentai where every member could beat up a common writer.
Yeah.
Uh, like which is really
It's
funny.
funny that like the Sentai and Kamen Rider teams are like power scaling against each other and like having these
Yeah.
like death battle conversations about like oh Gav can do this.
Yeah,
Have
yeah, so but yeah, I mean it does play with the show's themes of competition. So yeah, it
yeah,
does like
very
fit
funny.
and it is real of course the characters are still really fun to watch instead of just oh they're a
Mhm.
bunch of power sets.
Oh yeah, for
See
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I do like that it establishes in this episode that they each get like a specific like sense related power based on
the
the
ring.
ring that they
Yeah.
have. So like they established at the very beginning of the episode, with Tono being like smelling around, and
Sniffing.
he's a wolf, so he has the sense of smell. And then the Yellow Ranger has the super strength, and then Blue Ranger has the super hearing, so he's a good singer. He has good tone.
Yeah.
Um, so just very good, very like it's a small thing, but really helps to establish them as characters and like the differences and like what it means to like become these people, and it also like at least explains a little bit why the Yellow Ranger is like freakishly strong.
Yeah,
It's
like
part of
explains
the
their
ring.
quirks, like, and
Yeah,
like it does lean into their personality types.
yeah,
So, uh, yeah, those are. I think that's like the general episode. Do you want to talk about like that ending to the episode where
sure.
it's uh, GoZyuEagle appears and
Mm-hmm.
that's an old man. That's
Yeah,
not the
I
actor.
was really surprised. So I was like, oh yeah, it's
And the
the
thing
young
is, I
guy.
looked back at the opening during the little like the Qtama like dance like
Mm-hmm.
section where there's like you see like the like 360 no scope or what not the no
Yeah,
scope the
yeah.
360 camera, and it's like you see the little like images of like everyone's past.
Mm.
They actually teased the old man aspect when they showed Green's past, like in the
Okay,
opening, like
cool. I have to
very.
check that out.
You know, like, I'll send you the image right now. I'm not sure. Like, I'm actually putting like all the images I take like in the episode,
Mm-hmm.
video version of the episode, but I'm not sure if I'll actually put this one is because it's kind of like you have to kind of squint to see it.
Sure.
Um, uh, I posted it somewhere. Sorry, I'm just grabbing that image.
Yeah,
But
no
yeah, they
problem.
do show like green is like, and I actually just really like this in general,
Mm-hmm.
because like one of my favorite aspects of like my favorite Sentais are the age differences between the group,
Yeah.
and there's like a decent amount of age differences, but there's still like okay, I was sending Wyatt the image. There's still like a um
Mm.
what's it called like younger leaning for this team, so it's like to
Yeah.
even just have like okay they're spiritually old, that's really cool and
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like I would say Tono, for example, he's not like the young and up and coming kind of hero guy. He's not like a Gira or like Shoma and Gav or whatever. Like he's not like that like 19-year-old fresh faced soft boy, but he is like I don't know, like in his early 20s or whatever. Like he's still like a young guy going through shit. So it is a lot of fun. I feel like the last time I'm trying to think like the last time I can think of that we've had like kind of an older member on the team, like on the main team, was with GoZyuger. So
Even King Oger, like like
okay,
I was gonna say
yeah.
Kagurubachi, no, Dabowski, uh,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Yeah. He was definitely like they positioned him as like because they had like flashbacks from like 20 years ago and he looked
yeah,
basically the same, so it's implied that he's just like, oh, he's like 40 but he aged very well. So,
yeah,
yeah. And then and then Don Brothers the closest is like Kiji
Kijino,
brother, who is like 30 something. He has a
yeah,
wife guy, the most demonic wife guy you've ever met. So, uh,
yeah.
but yeah, very good. I like that. I especially like. I'm a big fan of uh, green bird. That's just like a good. Those
It's a
two
good
things
design.
that works together. Ginga Man
Yeah.
nailed it. Gingalkin, good guy. Love that dude. He screams at the beginning of every episode. It's good stuff.
Hey, I gotta continue Ginga Man eventually because I did like
Yeah.
what I've seen of it. I just
Yeah,
been like slacking.
I do wish that they just stuck with they're kaijus the entire time and didn't change it like 8 episodes in to be like, oh, then they
Uh
turn to robots and then combine, which is like, cool, fine. Gingayo is not a bad looking robot. It's just them controlling giant kaiju to fight is so much cooler,
yeah,
in
and
my
it's like
opinion.
it's like the materials they used was so unique.
Yeah.
Like it just like compared to like the mecha material, like just the suit
Mm,
making materials.
mm-hmm.
It just yeah, Ginga Man's a cool show from what I've seen. I'm really excited to
Yeah.
continue it eventually. I know I will. It just
Yasuo Kabayashi banger.
yeah, it was one of our first ones. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I think yeah, that's
No, but
final thoughts on the episode.
I really enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed the previous episode a little bit more just because it had like more surprising, like really funny moments and things like that. This one had some really good character building. I really liked Tonkatsu Atami. Like I
Mm.
thought that he was like a very entertaining character, and I was kind of like hyped up on him until he kind of revealed that he's just like manipulating everybody, which I should have predicted, but I was just like, yeah, this guy's like a pretty good prime minister. It's like helping everybody, but then the fact that it's just like obviously for approval ratings, so it's more like good ends, but bad means or whatever.
Yeah.
Or opposite, where bad ends and good means. But yeah, I overall really enjoyed it. I hope to see more as the
And
show
like
like
we already
really
know from
settles
the next
into.
episode preview he will appear next time,
Mhm.
so that's gonna be real fun.
Yeah, and I'm excited to finally get to learn more about the other two rangers. I'm assuming Unicorn will be last
Yeah.
to like be fully explored, which is kind of cool. I like that they set her up and then like they like take their time to like they're gonna take their time to get her to be like part of the team or whatever. It kind of reminds me of the Black Ranger and the Orange Ranger in Boom Boomja, where it took like 6 or 7 episodes for those guys to join, and they joined in kind of like an unconventional fashion. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, big thumbs up. Still,
Yeah.
GoZyuger still good after 3 episodes. Who'd have guessed?
Yeah, GoZyuger is still. I had a lot of fun with this episode. I don't know which is my
Mm,
favorite episode so far. They've just been all really consistently really good to me. Like they
mm-hmm.
all have like different things I like about them. But just like I don't know, so it's kind of like hard to pick a favorite right now, especially because we're only
Yeah.
three in. But I just had a big smile on my face for this one, and that's a good way. That's good. I like when Sentai makes me smile, like either through jokes or just cool
Mm-hmm.
moments.
Yeah.
Uh, So yeah,
Hype
I'm
moments and
very
aura
excited
and
for
everything.
next episode, especially with all those teases of GoZyuEagle and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just excited to learn about what his deal is. Like what is
Yeah.
like, the and I just in general, maybe because of I don't know, I really love Pura and Breath of the Wild being like an old lady who got turned into a young woman slash child and is like still an old person at heart,
Yeah.
but is wants to be like a cool young person. That's just like a very funny trope to me. So
Yeah. I don't know where that trope originated from, but it's a very funny one when it
yeah.
happens. Uh yeah. So but we'll talk about that next episode. But
Hmm.
Wyatt, why don't you plug your stuff?
All right, going over to Blue Sky, Wasp Ranger, WACP Ranger. I post stuff. I post art. I post videos. I post podcasts, which is It's Only Magic. Go on over there to my Patreon. It's Only Magic. Only $3, and you get the episodes a week early of Cartoon Buffoons and other stuff. If you just got $1 though, might interest you, Sentai fans. We have Wow Cool Robot, where we talk
Yeah.
about every single robot in existence. It's a good time. $1. We haven't recorded in a while, Wayne and I, but new episodes are coming. Don't you worry. So we'll get there. All right. How about you?
All right, I'm Buster Corp. I do videos on the YouTube whenever I feel like it. I'm also part of this channel that you're
Mm-hmm.
watching. If you're watching the video version, hey, well, Modular Media, we do all sorts of podcasts. I do the every week we shoot the shit and find out with modular components. Every month we pick one of us picks a piece of media and we read or watch it. Um, and like this month, we're doing a Blood Blockade Battlefront. Next month,
Mm.
ooh, you'll have to find out at the end of that episode. Uh,
Ooh.
so yeah, just lots of fun stuff happening. And of course, every week me and Wyatt sit down and talk about Toku with GoZuger or maybe other shows. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's gonna do it for this Toku Talkers. We'll see you next week for episode 4 of GoZuger.